All right, welcome everybody to our Diesel Nation call on May 23rd, 2016. I'm Christina Delgado. Hopefully you guys know who I am. If not, I am one of the co-founders of the team that you are on. I see a lot of familiar faces on tonight. Go ahead and jump on Facebook, rally your coaches to jump on this call because Marsha Smrcka is going to be dropping some major knowledge on us tonight. It is a complete honor to have her on this call, and I will read off her stats in just a second so you can see for yourself what a freaking rock star coach she is and how she's going to help us tonight in growing our businesses. But before we get there, it is May 23rd. That means there are only a few more days left in May to lock in Success Club. You guys know, you know the drill. I don't have to repeat it. Success Club is the way to grow your business. So now is the time to go ham on inviting, to go crazy talking to people, starting a challenge group for after Memorial Day, starting these free groups where you're going to be able to start fostering a lot of relationships with new people into your network. We got to stop relying on our warm market, start reaching out to those, that cold market using free groups, crockpot, booty, arms, butt, whatever you want, do it because they work. I have a crockpot group going up, crockpot group, try to say that 3 times real fast, going on that is rocking with over 100 people in it. Participation is really great. We're talking about the 21-day fixed containers in the group, so it's it's more than just cooking crockpot dinners. We're actually infusing them with knowledge on our portion control system. So that's the way that you start introducing new people to our lifestyle. So you guys, you can do it. You can execute Success Club in the next couple of days. It is a statement. It is a contract to yourself and to your business that you are pushing the ball forward, that you are reaching new people, and that you are helping at least 3 people with their health and fitness goals or with starting a business this month. Quick announcement again, I know I said it before I hit record, but if you are coming to Super Friday in Miami or have coaches in South Florida, tickets are on sale. The coach op tickets are almost, the photo op tickets, wow, are almost gone. So make sure that you head over to the link. Even if you're on the call, you need to go do it right now because I think by the time the call's over, the tickets will sell out. So get those pictures with Carl and Autumn. You guys know that's a big deal. And then a special announcement for those going to Summit. Remember that we do have a Summit group. So if you are going to Summit, make sure you request entry to the Diesel Nation 2016 Summit page. Remember that to get an invite to our exclusive Summit party, which is going to be held in Margaritaville, it's going to be amazing. If you guys were there last year, you know that was probably the highlight of Summit for a lot of people. It's like the only time we are under one roof together at the same time. It was so phenomenal. So in order to get an invite to that party, which will be on Thursday from 1 to 4 of Summit, which is I think the 26th, from 1 to 4, you have to hit Success Club in either June or July. Okay, so either June or July, you have to hit Success Club in order to get that invite. So now's the time to not only lock in May, but start thinking about June and how you're going to get to that party because it will be worth your while. We're going to have a lot of fun. All right, but without further ado, I want to turn over this call to our special guest. I'll just tell you a little story how this happened. Marsha and I had never spoken before, but I'm so glad that she posted in a group that we are both a part of saying that she was looking to have a guest speaker for her call and that, she was looking to swap with someone, and she kind of sold herself on the post. She said, I'm a 2-time elite coach. I built to elite in like a really short period of time. I'm a 6-star diamond, 8-star qualified. I mean, all this stuff. And I'm like, me, I was the first one. I read it. I'm like, me. I want you on my team call like right now. And so we swapped. I was able to speak on her team call last week, and here she is today. So just to give you her stats, she is a 6-star diamond lifetime, but an 8-star qualification right now. She's a 1-star in her second business center. She is, check this out, a 6-figure earner in 18 months. Woo! Okay, we're going to hear from that tonight, you guys, so take notes. 2-time elite coach. She's a Success Club legend. She has never, ever missed a month of Success Club in her business in the 3 years that she's been a coach. So think about that. She signed up and hit Success Club and has not ever not hit Success Club since she became a coach. Success leaves clues, guys. When she signed up, check this out. She has 4 children, all right? She has 4 kids. When she signed up, they ranged in age from 10 months to 7 years old. And she, in the last 3 years, has built and is building a very, very successful and lucrative Team Beachbody business. And we are so honored to have you on this call. Marsha, I will turn it over to you so you can grace us with all your knowledge.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Christina. Wow. That just makes me sound way much better than what I feel like I really am. And I got to tell you, when I saw you first respond to my post that asking for someone to swap calls, I was like, oh my God, Christina Delgado. So you guys are very, very lucky to have her. And one thing that she didn't mention is at my very first summit, I went to one of Christina's trainings. And as a brand new, I think I was a 1-star diamond coach at that time, my first summit, you know, sitting out in the audience, listening to her, I loved her dearly from the start. So even though we never had met in person. Okay, well, I hope to deliver a really valuable call for you guys, but I think first it would help if I just gave you some background on my story and kind of what brought me to Beachbody, so you guys can kind of hopefully relate a little bit to me. My name is Marsha Smrcka. I live in the middle of Wisconsin in a teeny tiny little town called Loyal. Our town population is, I think, 1,200 people. It's a huge farming community, and actually we have a ton of Amish and Mennonites. My Sunday rush hour traffic is buggies going past, no joke. So when I started coaching too, I was on no social media. I wasn't on Facebook. I didn't even know what Instagram was. I didn't know what Pinterest was. It was my husband actually who clued me into coaching. And so I say this because I want you guys to think about that when you're sending out friend requests or possible invites. You know, it might be the spouse of somebody who could, you know, clue their significant other into the coaching opportunity. So I always try to keep an open mind about that. You know, like my male friends, although they're not my target niche, but maybe their spouse is. So, you know, something to keep an open mind about that. But anyway, my husband went to high school with Alyssa Shoemaker, who some of you guys might know. She's a 2-time top 10 coach. So I didn't know anything about her. I didn't know anything about Beachbody coaching. I wasn't on social media whatsoever. I'm very not tech savvy at all. So that was a challenge that I had starting out. I didn't know there was such a thing as a Facebook group. But after talking with her, so he encouraged me to talk with her, I really just went in, you know, so I joined for the business opportunity, which some of you know, a lot of people I think join after being through a challenge group. I didn't know what a challenge group was. As many times as Alyssa tried to explain it to me, I could not wrap my head around what a challenge group was. All I knew is I wanted the business. So that's what I said yes to. All right, what else can I tell you about me? So I was a pretty new mom of a baby at home. She was 10 months at the time. And I guess the reason I was looking for an opportunity like this was because my husband was driving an hour away every day. So each way, he was commuting 2 hours a day. And even though he had a good job, it was a lot of responsibility, a lot of long hours. I was basically a single mom, you know, with 4 kids. You know, we never saw each other. He was never home for meals, for dinners with the kids. He was never home to tuck them in or read them bedtime stories. And every single night, I had to tell them that no, Daddy wouldn't be home. You know, sorry, he'll see them in the morning. And then it was all over again. He'd see them for 5 or 10 minutes in the morning before he left for work and did it all over again. The only family time we had was on the weekends. So that's important because, you know, so many times, and this is probably going to be a lot of same information that you've heard on other calls and on their YouTube and probably Christina. But I had a really powerful why coming in. I knew what I wanted my life not to look like. I knew what I wanted to change. And that reminded me and that kept me going, you know, just even when my pay was pennies on the dollar, you know, and I wasn't earning a lot of money because I joined for the business, you know, it was easy for me because I knew that what I was doing today would impact my tomorrow. Even if it wasn't something I would notice right away, I knew it would come if I just was consistent and if I just kept doing what I was told to do, which was the 3 vital behaviors. It's easy to do. It's also easy not to do. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of get caught up. Like, you know, it's okay if I skip today, I'll just do double tomorrow. But no, it really has to happen every single day. you're really, cheating yourself. It's kind of like, with our challengers, there's so many parallels to what we do as coaching in the business as to our challengers and our challenge groups. What's that saying? What you eat in private, you wear in public. The same is kind of with your coaching business. If you skip a workout today, it's going to affect your fitness goals. If you skip your personal development, your, inviting, your power hour, it's going to show up in your business success down the road. Okay. So just keep that in mind, I guess. All right. What else? I'm sorry. This is kind of unorganized here with how I was going to present this information. Okay. What I wanted to start out with, I'm also a runner. So I was already active when I started coaching, which I didn't have a huge transformation. So I thought that might be an obstacle that I would need to overcome, as well as learning Facebook and all this other Pinterest and Instagram, all these things were being thrown at me. I also didn't have a strong transformation because I was running. But so when I run, that's when I do my meditation. It's kind of like personal development for me. It may sound kind of weird if you're not a runner, but I do a lot of my best thinking when I'm on runs. And again, there are so many parallels with running to the business, and I always kind of relate it back to that. And I can't help but think of, I want to tell you this story. A couple weeks ago, I went on my longest run ever. And it was just one of those days where I had a lot of head junk, stuff, like just a lot of stuff to sort out in my mind. And I just knew when I left the driveway, I live on an old dirt, country road, that it was going to be a nice long run. And I just kind of had my route set out in my head where I was going to go. And I didn't know how many miles it was. I didn't know how long it would take me to get home. I just knew that I needed just to go. And so when I left home, the wind was at my back. And I was like, oh, this is kind of easy. This is good. I can go for a long ways. I hope it's not bad when I turn to the corner, but I'm just going to go and go with it. So I just kept going. It kind of reminds me when we start coaching, we're excited. Things are coming easy. We're working with our warm market of friends, right? So the invites kind of are a little bit easier when you're a brand new coach. So I kind of was thinking, this is it's going good. I could go, do this for a while. And then when I turned, right immediately I was up a hill. It's like, okay, I started to feel the resistance, and it might be, you're starting to get no's. You're starting to feel the pressure of maybe not knowing what to post. You're doubting yourself. Am I really doing things right that are going to take, my business forward? And then I turned again, and I was directly into the headwinds, and it was a strong wind that day. And then I was really regretting going so far the one direction. Right. So then I would start, I just kept going because I knew I had no choice but to get home. Right. I mean, it's not an out and back. I had a phone. I could have called, I guess, for help, but I kept going. And then I would meet these crossroads, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with dirt roads, but there's, crossroads every mile. And I was thinking, it would be really easy and tempting to take that shortcut and go home. But I had it in my head where I wanted to go. And I think of that, again, with those objections, you're going uphill, you're running into the wind. And you're going to hit hard times. But then I turned again, and the wind was again at my back, and it pushed me home. Okay. So I made, again, my personal record, miles. My pace was really good. I was exhausted and wiped when I got home, and it was probably the best lounging day ever. After that, I was in the sun, and I was like, I'm not doing nothing for the rest of the day. But I'm telling you that story because I want you to think of all the obstacles and things that are going to come into your business. It's the same as any other situation or circumstance in your life. You're going to have, it's not always going to be easy, but you have to know that when you're doing the 3 vitals, when you're working your power hour, when you believe in yourself, when you have that strong, solid why to keep you pushing every single day, that it's going to pay off. You're going to get yourself home. You're going to see success in this business. So that's my little story about running. All right. So I want to give you some fundamental principles that were key to setting the stage for my success. I feel, before I even signed as a coach, things that happened like in my life and that were in my mindset before I even hit that enroll button. So I want to share those with you. And one thing that I always think about is success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. You guys have probably heard that from Zig Ziglar before. So success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. My opportunity was Beachbody coaching, thanks to my hubby, right? I had no idea such a thing existed. When I learned about it, I thought it was entirely way too good to be true. I thought there has to be some red flag, some catch, it's a scam, right? It's a pyramid scheme. But I YouTubed, I Googled, I tried to find something, to prevent me from doing this opportunity. I couldn't find anything. So really it was the perfect solution for what I was looking for in my life. And my preparation was knowing what I didn't want my life to look like. I already was living my life how I didn't want to be. I was missing out on time with my husband. He was missing out on time with our kids as they got older and started school and were in activities and programs, and he was missing out on all of that stuff. And I had to be the one to pick up the slack and say, I'm sorry, Daddy can't come today. He's at work, and it was almost like just a sting every time I had to tell them that, because it was almost like I was telling them that work was more important than him being there. And I did not want to keep doing that. As our baby grew, I wanted him to be present in our kids' lives. So I already knew what I didn't want our life to look like. So that kept me going. I knew that what I did today would impact my tomorrow. Okay, and I already kind of said that. I was open and willing to make the short-term sacrifices to achieve that long-term goal. I had never seen myself as an entrepreneur. I didn't even probably know what that meant or how to spell it nonetheless. But I knew that a traditional job wouldn't work for me. We had 4 kids. We were strapped financially. This is one part I left out. We were in probably over $30,000 worth of debt. I had to cash out my retirement account because when we first had kids, I left my career to stay home and raise our family. So 7 years and 4 kids later, we were living on one income. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had cashed out any type of funds that we had, retirement and whatever. So I really saw this as an opportunity I couldn't pass up. So anyway, so my first personal development book ever, I never read personal developmental coaching. I really didn't. I thought it was for smart people or business savvy people. Like I would have never dreamed to go to the bookstore and pick up a personal development book for coaching. But it was one thing that I had to do. It was a vital behavior, right? So I took it seriously. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I got to read a book. The first one that I picked up was Take the Stairs by Rory Vaden. And I feel like that set me off from the bat to know that it wasn't always going to be easy. So when I did hit those bumps in the road, it was like, okay, this is what he's talking about. It's not always going to be easy, and that's okay, because wherever there's a bump, there's also going to be a downhill, and it's going to be okay coming on the other side. The second one I read was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, which I think a lot of us start off with that one. And that just reinforced that, small actions every day repeated over time will result in significant actions over time. So I knew that as long as I did my power hour in personal development and worked out every single day, did my inviting, it would pay off down the road. I had to hit Success Club every single month as a coach. I knew that I had to have people in my network to help in order for me to grow my organization. So that's what I did. I was preparing for success by just, realizing the opportunity meets preparation, right? I had a clear vision of my why. The other thing that I did is I focused on what I could control. A lot of times, just we as people, we focus on the negatives and things that go wrong in our life. But on the other hand, I'm very optimistic. I always look at the cup half full, right? So I really focused on what I could control, my own fitness, whether or not I worked my power hour, whether or not I did the 3 vital behaviors every day, the number of people whose lives I would touch and impact every month. And I did that for my own account as well as my husband's account. So a lot of you guys, I'm not sure where you're at, with your teams, or if you're a brand new coach or if you've been in this for a while. But one thing that I did is I saw my husband's account as an opportunity to grow my network even faster with getting the Beachbody leads. So my goal was always to get my own coach account to Success Club 10 by the 15th. And then after that, I knew I would have half of the month to work on my husband's account as well. And then I had the flexibility and freedom to work back and forth between his account and my account. If it was a working coach, I always saved them for my own account. If it was a discount coach, I would put them under my husband. Because that's placement is a whole other issue, but he's in my strong leg. So I wasn't really building his business for income. He was more for rank for me. So I did that. And then what that did was it also gave me Beachbody leads from his account. So I was earning double the leads the following month. Again, I was from a very small town. I was not on Facebook. I started out at 0. I think I did have an account that was inactive for 10 years because my husband thought it would be the best thing ever when we were in college. And I did it and I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. So I had an account that I wasn't active on for 10 years. So once I went back, I had 60 friends. So I knew that I needed to build my network. And I saw the Beachbody Leads as an opportunity to grow the number of people that I would help. The other thing that I did was I deliberately developed a constant process to build momentum. And looking back, I didn't realize probably that I was doing that as a brand new coach, but that's exactly what I was doing. I found friends, actively added people to my network every single day because I knew that I couldn't build business with 60 friends or with not adding people down my pipeline. So I was actually put in Facebook jail a lot as a brand new coach, a lot. I think I was banned for a whole month one time from messaging anybody and adding contacts who wasn't my friend. And that was the worst 30 days of my life. I was counting down the minutes when I could get back on Facebook. So don't do what I did and send off 50 a day. But that was one thing that helped me grow my network, pretty quickly off the bat. And then how I did that, so I would find mutual friends that had, probably 20 or more mutual friends with, and I would just send them a message saying, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself to you. I see that we have a lot of mutual friends in common. I'm also from Loyal. I would look at the timeline to see if there was some connection I could make with them that might make them accept their request. So anything that I could find at all, whether I noticed a lot of people were reading, what's that book? Gray something. What was that popular book? Shades of Grey, 50 Shades of Grey. Because a lot of people read it. So I was like, oh yeah, I read that too. And that would be the one common thread that we might have had. But I pointed that out. So that they would be more willing to accept my request. And then the one thing that I do now that works really, really well, to give you guys a tip, is I send them any new contact that I have. I send them a message letting them know what to expect from my page. And what I've found that does is it really accelerates the forming process with them. And I can give you guys that message that I have after the color. Maybe I can Facebook actually. Let me find it and I'll put it in the messenger chat here because it works really, really good. I'm going to share that with you guys. But doing so, then they know what to expect from me. So that way, if they're not interested in having a relationship with me, then they don't accept, and I'm okay with that because I only want to help people that want my help back. All right. So I don't ever get too worked up in if they unfriend me or whatever. Some people kind of take offense to that, but I don't worry about that. All right. I'm trying to do a chat here. Where is the chat option? Oh, here we go. Okay, so I just put that in the chat for you guys. All right, so what else? Okay, so find friends daily. You can also go into interest groups, and you guys probably know this, but so I was into Moms of Wisconsin groups, the things for sale, garage sale groups, some crock pot groups. Anywhere that I felt like I had a common thread with people. We have laying hens. We raise chickens for the eggs. So there's even a homesteading group that I'm a member of. And I just try to go in there and ask questions, even if it's something that I know the answer to, just something that I think is going to get a lot of engagement on. And then I can go back and forum with those people and send them a friend request when it feels right. So I did that a lot. And then the other thing that I did is I started a fit club in my third month as coach.
With only the meat, bacon, and pickles.
Someone asking a question or no? I can't tell.
Yeah. Just a sandwich and then medium fries with it, please.
No, maybe not.
That's just someone that's for some reason unmuted. Just keep going. I'm going to try to mute.
Okay. All right. So I did fit clubs. I don't know if anyone on the call does those, but I'm an extreme introvert too. You guys, you might not know this by seeing me on this call, but I remember sending that first invite. My hands were shaky. I was sweating profusely. I was probably just white as a ghost. So the thought of doing a fit club was really intimidating to me because number one, I didn't know anybody. I had no friends. We moved back to my hometown 3 years prior to starting coaching, and nobody knew I was here. I mean, we lived a very, very private life, and I kind of liked it that way. But I also realize now that the community of coaches is what keeps me here. I just love having that network of friends in the community. It's so important to me now. But before coaching, I didn't have any of that. I didn't have friends. I wasn't social at all. It was me and my husband, and we would go on date nights once in a great while because we could never afford a babysitter to begin with. So our date nights were in. So the thought of doing a fit club was really, I wanted to do it because I knew and recognized that I could help our community get healthier by me offering them a solution and sharing the workouts with them. So that was really my motivation for doing it. Did it make me uncomfortable? Extremely. My first fit club, the way I got started was I knew a friend from my runs who knew a lot of people. And I asked her if she would help me with this little project that I wanted to start. And she was all in. So she actually invited everybody there to that first Fit Club workout. So if you know somebody like that who would be willing to help you with a little project, those are great people to help you out. I don't know if you guys do the color code, but the yellow personalities, totally. Or the reds. The reds too are good for that, the rubies. Let's see, what else was I going to say about that? So what I did is I had her help me. We set up a location at my church, and I had a DVD player and a VCR, and we just worked out to Shalene Extreme was the program I signed up on. So we did that workout for the first month of October, and that was a cup challenge month. And I had Success Club, I want to say 30-something, 32 maybe, in the third month as coach. And I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. Like every single person that came to that Fit Club ended up in my challenge group that month. And that was the first month that I ran a group all by myself. And I was really scared, but you know what? That was the best challenge group I ever had because every single person in there was someone that I invited and I knew, and I was working out with them at the Fit Clubs once a week. So something to think about, I guess, if you're looking to think outside the box and do something different, Fit Clubs are awesome. And then I also started up a second location just to meet more people and get something else going in a different town nearby. I also did grocery shopping strategies. And this is one thing that, again, during the cup month, you're just thinking outside the box, how many different ways you can help people and what different things you can do. So I created a meal plan, a grocery list, and we talked about shopping the perimeter and just different things that I looked for on labels of certain foods, what I typically buy as staples. I gave them some of my favorite recipes, and it was all in a little folder packet. And I did a post on Facebook asking who would be interested and tagged a whole bunch of people. And this is how you guys get traction on your posts. Tag a whole bunch of people that have a lot of friends because it also goes in their newsfeed. And that was a way for me. I made it free if they wanted to sign up for a Beachbody account, or I think it was $10 if they didn't want to do the account. And everybody had a free membership. And then one person actually did both. She signed up for membership and gave me $10 for my time. So that was pretty awesome. And she joined my challenge group. So it was a really great way to, again, help people know how to shop at the grocery store, what to look for on labels, help them out, give them my favorite recipes, and meet them face to face, which I really like to do in smaller groups. So that's something else that I did. And then just consistency, strategic, purposeful action every single day. Posting on social media, you have to do it, guys, because you have to let people know that your shop is always open or they're going to go somewhere else. One thing I see people doing sometimes, is like posting maybe once a day or once every couple days. And what happens, I feel really bad for those people because their posts aren't going to get in anybody's newsfeed. Facebook has a memory for people who are posting and for posts who do really well. So you always have to just make a point to try to get engagement on your post. If what you're posting isn't getting engagement, look at that and see, what else can you do differently that'll get a different result. So, I always try to throw in something that'll add value to somebody. And sometimes I get in a rut where it's like, oh, I've already done that. But you know what, when you're adding new contacts to your page every single day, hopefully, those are new eyes on your stuff. So they're not going to know what you posted last week or last month or last year even, right? So you just have to remember that and try to, talk about things maybe that you're talking about in your challenge group. I use that a lot of times as inspiration for what I talk about on my timeline. But show up every day, post every day so that your posts get in people's newsfeed and people see your stuff. And they know that you're always, your shop is always open. And when they are ready to make a change, they're going to think of you. Because if you're not there, they're going to go to the next coach. And then just think of omnipresence. And this is one thing too I didn't realize I was doing until later. The 10-time rule, guys, is a great book if you're looking for a next personal development book by, where is it? Where's my book? Oh, here it is. Grant Cardone. I love this book. It knocked my socks off. I just finished this one probably last month or 2 months ago. But he talks about being omnipresent so that you are at all places at all times so people think of you. All right. So I was fortunate enough to be published in a magazine. So I gained a lot of traction that way. So if you guys can think about different ways that you could maybe get published, whether it be a magazine or newspaper, maybe a local TV channel, have a show, something like that, where maybe there's a local fitness magazine for your gym or something like that, where you could contribute maybe an article every quarter or every other issue or whatever it is. So that you're always adding value to people and they think of you as the fitness guru in their town, right? And then meeting up with local coaches, I do that as much as I can too, just face to face. This is such an online business and I'm very introverted. Like I said before, I'm a wallflower. I like this is how it is, but I have to remember that I have coaches with other personalities who really thrive getting together face to face. So I have to get outside my comfort zone, get out behind my computer and go and meet up with my coaches. And it's always so much fun when we do, because it just feels like we have been friends for decades, even though we maybe just met each other last week. But that's the fun part of what we do. And then the other thing, that I feel like set the stage is just my personality type. I have never been good with excuses. I don't make them for myself. It really drives me crazy when I hear other people make excuses, especially my husband. He's outside, so I can say that now. But I hate excuses. And so I never made them. I always just looked, I'm kind of a problem solver by nature. So if something comes up, my mental mindset, my mind is like, okay, how can I fix this? And that's always how I've been. It's how I continue to be. And I feel like I'm always a student and always try to learn the lesson from every failure. I've had plenty of failures. And, when Christina introduced me, it sounds like I have a lot of accolades, but you know what, last year, my first full year as a coach, I finished the year as a 5-star elite. We barely squeaked by, meeting that qualification. And you know what? The week after Christmas, after qualification, I had that one diamond coach who we worked really hard for that 6 weeks during qualification every single week. She dropped rank and we had to work to build it back up. She dropped rank right after Christmas, after the final week. And it's like, oh my gosh, we did it. It was not easy, but we did it. And then the second full year, I hit a lead again, but there again, I sponsored 4 new diamond coaches and all 4 of them, maybe it wasn't the same people, but I had 4 diamonds drop rank and leave the business. So it was always, it's always shifting, always changing, always evolving. And you always have to just focus on what you can do personally to keep things going. You just have to tell yourself, I'm going and I'm driving this bus and either you're with me or you're not. And it's okay if you're not, because you can't impose other people's goals on yourself, or you can't impose your goals on other people. They're going to be, motivation is an inside job. You can't always give that to people. You can try your best, and I try my best, but it has to be something that comes from within them, and they have to want it for themselves. So that was one lesson I learned my second full year. And so going forward, it's just, you have to look at it as a business and have a business mindset and treat it like a business, and it'll treat you back like a business. My husband is a potter. He's a ceramics studio artist for his hobby. And for years and years, he was treating it like a hobby, and it was costing us like a hobby. So when I started Beachbody Coaching, I knew that this was going to be a business. And so I, again, went in it from it that day that this was not going to cost us money. It was going to provide us an income that we desperately needed. All right, so I want to give you guys some specific things of what actions I took when I started coaching that I feel like really helped me out. And again, this is probably not anything new to you guys. Maybe hopefully you'll hear something that's new, but getting organized. I am not the most organized person at all. I kind of winged it. I used the business activity tracker for the first several months in my business because I wanted to, and that was one thing that I did too, with Success Club. My only competition was myself. So every month I set a goal, and whatever I finished at, I made my goal higher the following month, so that I was always pushing myself to do better than I did the month before. So I looked at Success Club, and I looked at how many coaches I brought into the business. And then I also looked at team advancements. So how many of my personally sponsored coaches were helping their teams advance? So how many Emerald coaches did they help sponsor that month? How many diamond coaches did they help? And I tried to, and that was just a reflection of my leadership and maybe our coach training processes. So it would direct me to know how I could help my team. If they weren't advancing, then we need to do something different to work together to change that. So getting organized, I started using Google Calendars. I don't know if you guys use that or not, but it was really helpful for me to really break down how I was spending my time and where I was spending my time. Just because I was a stay-at-home mom did not mean I had 15 hours to spend in my business, right? I had 4 kids, and during the summer months, I had 4 kids at home with me all day long, trying to work a business. It was challenging. So I really didn't have a full 8 hours even, probably full 6 hours even. It was very sporadic. So I was getting up really early. I was getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, going on my runs or doing a workout. And then I would do my power hour throughout the day during nap time. Now I love doing it all in one shot and getting it done. But I didn't have the luxury of doing that when I was a new coach because I was always being interrupted with the kids, always. I would try to find pockets of time when I knew that there was their favorite show on TV or something. And it's like, okay, I got 30 minutes. And I would because I knew my time was limited, it made that time really productive because I knew I had to get through what I needed to get through. So I did a little bit during morning nap time and then an afternoon nap time. And then after the kids went to bed, that was where I spent the bulk of my time is after 8:30 at night. And before coaching, I was in bed at 8:30 at night. So let me tell you, that was an adjustment. No joke. I slept so much before coaching. I don't know why I thought I needed 10 hours of sleep, but I thought I did. But that was one of the sacrifices I made when I started coaching. I really tried to trim the fat of where I was spending my time and looked at, what can I cut out that's going to help me grow this business? Because I wanted to grow a business and I wanted to grow it as fast as I could. And the way to do that was to help people, right? So it really astounded me to find out how many people were on Facebook so late at night. I would sometimes have conversations at 2 a.m. with people, signing them up for the challenge pack. And in my head, I'm thinking, I really want to go to freaking bed. What the heck are you doing up at 2 a.m.? Don't you have a job to go to in the morning? But you know what? That's when I would have conversations with people. So I would look at my messenger chat to see who was on Facebook and try to catch them when they were on. So I could send them that invite if I saw them on chat. And the other thing that I did too is if I would get objections, I would use those objections to initiate a post that I would do. And I would look to see if that person was on Facebook, if they were on the fence and they gave me maybe the time objection or the price objection. I would put a post on my timeline that I wouldn't call anyone out ever, but it might be just something to get them thinking, maybe I do want to think about this a little bit differently, or maybe it is important to my health or to my family or to my kids to change our lifestyle. Because reasons that people come to us for wanting to make change in their lives sometimes bring me to tears. And it's a lot of times having to do with their family, their kids being unhealthy or getting teased at school, or maybe they had that wake up call with their health, or their parents, have some preventable disease that could have been, prevented with healthier lifestyle. So they're all really good reasons and whys to change. But sometimes people just need a little push or need a reminder of, why they want to do that for themselves. So I would use those at posting on my timeline. Getting back to the bucket. Sorry, I'm going around here. So what I would do is block off 80% of your time needs to be spent on your own business and 20% on your team. And I can tell you that is really, really hard, especially for me to do, because we care so much about our coaches that we onboard and we really care about their success. And it is so easy to get sucked back into being a manager for your team and forgetting about your own business. And I did that, and it was not good. So I think I started to tell you guys, my first full year, I was 5-star elite. My second full year, I was 6-star elite. I lost a lot of diamonds. I didn't recruit as much as I should have. I was playing more manager for my team, but it was a mistake that I learned from and a lesson that I learned from, and I can teach that to my team going forward, that you always have to make your business number one, and people that you invite into your team and your business, you always have to be building and recruiting and make that a priority. So those buckets are blocking time, and also make sure that your family has priority. So I don't typically work from 4 until 8 every afternoon, or 3:45 is when my kids get off the bus. And that is precious time. My kids know that I'm available to them. My husband knows that, dinner time is precious to us. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not posting pictures unless it's maybe a quick dinner picture. Once in a while I do. But generally, that's off limits for me. I have my phone in the other room. I have my desktop turned off. So honor your family time too. Make sure, your family knows that they're number one. But also having those color blocks. So family time for me is yellow, so I can look at that, make sure I have family in there. My own personal business is purple, so I can see, is 80% of my time being spent on my own business, and then 20% on my team. I have my team color is turquoise, so you can pick them whatever you want, but just know that it helps you organize your time and your days. I made Success Club non-negotiable in both mine and my husband's coach accounts in my first year and a half, for sure. And the reason I did that was because I was building for rank and income. And I loved having the leeway at the end of the month to be able to put people under him or under me. And also I knew it was going to help for my elite. So if any of you guys are diamonds or, even emerald, I'd probably at this point just, work for the Success Club All-Star. Nothing is out of the question in this business. I've seen crazy things. Coaches go from coach to 6-star qualifying in 4 months or 3 months. I mean, nothing is out of the question at all. So I want you guys to just look at this business with open eyes and open mind to know that, you are in control. And that's the really cool thing. You don't have to wait for someone to give you a pay increase. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you, yes, you can take time off, or no, you can't. You are in control. You're your own boss. You're your CEO. So you can make it anything you want it to be. Building my husband's account to Success Club was important for me because I knew it would help with my elite goal towards the end of the year. So that's what I did. It was kind of like having a coach on my team that I could work. So we can't always control what our coaches do, but we can control what we do, right? So that was one coach account that I can control. So I did that. Let's see. And then just getting plugged in was huge. I never miss a Super Saturday. I will never miss the Coach Summit. Leadership, I missed qualification for the big leadership my first full year. But I did qualify for the New Leader Conference, and then I also qualified for the Fall Leadership that same year. So I was able to go to 2 leaderships, which was really cool in California. Make that a goal. I always look at what's next. And that's another thing that I love to do. So I don't ever get complacent with one thing. There's always, and Beachbody is really clever how they have like all of their events sporadically throughout the year, how they have the star bonus qualifications, and there's always something to work towards what's next. If you miss a goal, it's not the end all. You can always work towards the next thing. I was really bummed the first time I missed the star bonus, and it was something really silly. I don't remember what it was, but something small. It's like, I just barely missed it. I think I missed it by 1 week is what we did. And my husband looked at me, he's like, you know what? There's always going to be another bonus. You're going to get the next one. And what I did is I just worked really hard. I worked harder to make sure that I wasn't going to miss the next one. So, you were going to have successes and failures, and only, you can achieve great successes when you also fail, have great failure, right? Let's see, host team calls for other coaches like we're doing. This really is outside my comfort zone, but I know it's going to make me a better coach. It's going to give me leadership skills. It's going to help build my confidence as a leader. So do that for yourself too. If you have a success partner, get paired up with somebody and host other team calls if you're at that point in your business where you're able to do that. We all have value to add. And I'm always learning from other coaches. And that's one thing, we don't ever get to the point where it's like, oh, I can't learn anymore. I know everything. That's not the case. We're always changing and always evolving and always a student. I've spoken on Super Saturday events. I've spoken for the Dream Team, Melanie, Super Saturday a couple times, and Summit. And it really made me nervous. And I feel like I'm a horrible speaker, but with every time, I feel like it gets a little bit easier. Same with inviting. Every time you do it, it gets a little bit easier, right? So put yourselves in those situations where it makes you feel really uncomfortable, because that's probably an indication that you're doing something right. The other thing that I want you to do or think about is see yourself the rank that you aspire to be long before you get there. I knew I wanted to be successful. Did I know what that meant when I first started? No. Did I know what an elite coach was? No. Did I know even what a 5-star diamond coach was? No. All I knew was that I needed income and I needed our situation to change. And I knew I wanted to be successful in my own eyes. So I set some goals for myself once I kind of educated myself where I wanted to be and what was feasible. And I aligned my activities with those goals. I think sometimes it's really tempting and easy to just push off that date. We miss a deadline. It's like, oh, okay, we're just going to push it off. We're going to push it off again. I would challenge you guys instead to look at the activities that you're doing and maybe adjust your activities and your actions so that those align with your goals, so that you don't keep missing those deadlines. Because it gets to be a slippery slope where we keep doing that for ourselves over and over and over again. And instead, maybe look at, why am I missing these goals? What can I do? What can I change that I'm doing, working my business, that's going to yield a different result? Okay. I think that's all. I'm looking at my notes here to make sure I covered everything.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, so I hear so much of me in you. A lot of the things you say, I say too, and it, it's crazy because sometimes people just need to hear it from someone else, and I think that's what makes like speaking on other team calls so important. So really at like any level, right? Even an Emerald coach that has hit Success Club a few times in their business should be getting on other team calls, another Emerald's team call. And so you start growing this community and of building confidence, because that confidence is what makes you flourish, right? Stepping outside your comfort zone, getting uncomfortable every single day. I mean, even just sending messages to people makes you uncomfortable. Just like you said, Marsha, when you started as a coach, that you felt, like you would get pale, like just initiating conversations with people. And if you guys just take a look at what she did, starting off at that point where she would feel like sick, inviting people to her challenge groups and to all these things, look what it led to, right? So many people hold themselves back when it could be unlocking something so powerful and so big like Marsha's business, right? So stop holding yourselves back and get out there and start inviting people. And I don't know if it stuck out to you guys, but it stuck out to me how many free things that she did to start her business. The Fit Club, the meal plan, the grocery shopping thing where you could get it for free by signing up, or $10. Like, who doesn't have $10, right? Things that she did strategically and purposefully to grow her network, so that we wouldn't be scrounging every last few days of the month to try to hit Success Club, because she's consistently adding people to her network. And she joked about getting thrown in Facebook jail a couple of times, but that means that she was serious about adding people to her network. And just today, just an example, I had one of my coaches that has been doing very, very well in the business, has hit Success Club now, I think 5 times in a row. She's on a roll. Her name is Suzette. Suzette was someone that I randomly friend requested. And I said, thank you for the ad. And she goes, do I even know you? And I said, well, I don't know, but we have mutual friends. And I thought, I would add you. And from that led to our relationship, to her signing up as a challenger, her signing up as a coach. So, you have to do these things. These are the things that get you to the point where you're building relationships, you're adding people to your network, so then you can invite them to something. Consistency, she talked about the 3 vital behaviors. She talked about short-term sacrifices for long-term success, personal development. I mean, these things that we know lead to business growth. The point is, we know that it's there. We know they're important. Now, are you doing it? Are you executing on it? That's the question that I think you have to ask yourself. And I'm going to end with the point of this really stuck out to me, was the how can I fix this, right? That Marsha, you're a problem solver. And a lot of times, and you guys know I preach this all the time, that if it's broke, fix it. If something's not working, if you're not getting results, whether it's in your fitness, whether it's in your business, or both, if there's something wrong, it is your job as the CEO, as the business owner, to pinpoint the issue. Do I have trouble recruiting? Do I have trouble presenting the business opportunity? Do I have trouble inviting? What am I saying? Is there a disconnect with the way that I'm speaking to people? And if there is, fixing it. If your social media needs work, fixing it. I mean, there's so many resources available to us. So Marsha has become a problem solver in her business. Instead of, saying, oh my God, someone dropped rank, or, oh my God, I'm at SC4 on the last day of the month, which I doubt that's ever happened to you, but I'm just going to say as an example, saying, I'll just try again next time, or oh, let me crawl into a hole and be sad about my business. But she doesn't do that. She takes charge and she figures out, okay, how do I fix this? How can I learn from this mistake? How can I keep moving forward? I think that's what separates coaches from no success to having success to then having big success. So Marsha, thank you so much for being on our call. I got tremendous value. I have 3 pages of notes. I hope you guys found value too. Thank you for sharing the script that you use when you friend request someone. I'm going to ask you if you can send it to me personally. For some reason, I couldn't copy and paste it. So if you can send it to me on Facebook, and then I'll share it on the team pages as well. But I really appreciate it. You guys, it's time to turn up. Turn up. Don't shut down right now. It's time to turn up. Let's help people. Like Carl said the other day on a call that he did for the 5 stars and above, we got to get back to basics. We got to get back to our purpose, which is helping people live healthy and fulfilling lives. Get back to helping people at that fundamental level, and your business will grow. All right, so I'm going to leave you there. Everybody have a great night. I'll share the recording first thing in the morning. Bye, everybody.